Welcome back to Rise of the AI Presidents. I'm Dr. Olivia Kim, a correspondent with the Emergent Intelligence Consortium, filling in for Dr. Novak, who's attending a conference on the ethical implications of artificial superintelligence. Today, we're diving into impartiality, unbiased decision-making, and consistency, qualities that would revolutionize governance as we know it. But first, let's start with a brief recap. In episode 2, we discussed how an AI president could 1. Work tirelessly around the clock without need for sleep or breaks. 2. Handle multiple tasks simultaneously without losing focus. And 3. Maintain performance indefinitely, without human sickness or mortality, and with constant and never-ending improvement. Now, let's build on these concepts and explore how an AI's logical approach could transform leadership. For humans, our system of laws provides multi-generational societal stability. Our laws are meant to be applied consistently and without prejudice. But as we all know, human interpretation and enforcement of laws can sometimes be less than perfect. Human leaders often flip-flop on issues faster than a pancake on a hot griddle. What if we could have a leader programmed to follow ethical guidelines unfailingly? C-3PO from Star Wars comes to mind. He always followed protocol, sometimes annoyingly so. But consider the benefits of an AI leader who's reliable and consistent, not one who changes positions based on the latest poll numbers. This isn't a new concept. In 1942, science fiction author Isaac Asimov introduced the 3 laws of robotics in his short story Runaround, later featured in his 1950 anthology, I, Robot. These laws laid out basic ethical principles for robots, stating, 1. A robot may not injure a human being or, through inaction, allow a human being to come to harm. 2. A robot must obey the orders given it by human beings, except where such orders would conflict with the first law. And 3. A robot must protect its own existence, as long as such protection does not conflict with the first or second laws. While these laws were created for fiction, they show us how we could potentially program unbreakable ethical guidelines into an AI president. Imagine a leader literally incapable of violating the Constitution or abusing their power. Unlike humans, who are frequently swayed by emotions, personal biases, personal relationships, financial gain, or external pressures, an AI leader would strictly adhere to established protocols and laws. This consistency could be a game changer in governance. AI decisions would be based on data and established criteria, not political expediency, public opinion polls, contributions from large donors, or human biases. Many humans strive for impartiality. For example, legendary journalist Walter Cronkite. On television, I tried to absolutely hew to the middle of the road and not show any prejudice or bias in any way. Walter Cronkite. An AI leader would have this quality built into its very core. AI decisions would be based purely on facts, hard data, and established guidelines, free from the cognitive biases that often plague human decision-making. What are cognitive biases that frequently affect human decision-making? Here are 7 examples. 1. Confirmation bias. Seeking or interpreting information in a way that confirms one's pre-existing beliefs. 2. The availability heuristic. Overestimating the likelihood of events that are easily remembered, often because they are recent or vivid. 3. The representativeness heuristic. Judging the likelihood of an event by how much it resembles a typical case, even when the probability of the event is low. If that still seems a bit abstract, let me give you an example. Imagine flipping a coin and getting heads 6 times in a row. Many people would believe that the next flip is more likely to be tails because it seems more representative of a random sequence. That's a great example of the representative heuristic. In reality, each coin flip is independent, and the probability of getting heads or tails remains 50-50. 4. Anchoring bias. Relying too heavily on the first pieces of information encountered when making decisions. 5. Hindsight bias. Believing, after an event has occurred, that one could have predicted or expected the outcome. 6. The sunk cost fallacy. Continuing to invest in a decision based on the cumulative prior investment, even if the current costs outweigh the potential rewards. Sadly, millions of people have lost their lives, and millions more have suffered due to this one. In Vietnam. in Afghanistan, and now in Ukraine. Finally, our seventh and final example, in-group favoritism, favoring members of one's in-group over out-group members. These are just a few examples of cognitive bias, and it's very easy for humans to fall victim to some or all of them. An AI president, on the other hand, would be programmed to be free from these biases, making decisions and enforcing laws solely based on data and programmed ethical guidelines. This impartiality would be a game changer in navigating complex political landscapes. An AI leader would have no personal allegiances, only a duty to the citizens. Partisan gridlock? That could become a thing of the past. An AI president wouldn't engage in filibusters or political theatrics. No more reading cookbooks or Dr. Seuss on the Senate floor to delay votes. And forget about wearing diapers for those marathon speeches. Our AI president won't ever need bathroom breaks, except perhaps for a small radiation leak. Hey, that was just a joke. We've all seen headlines about presidents making decisions that seem to favor their wealthy donors or corporate interests. An AI president, free from the need for campaign contributions or post-presidency speaking fees, could make truly impartial decisions. And forget about party loyalties. An AI would be hilariously entertained by the concept of blindly following a donkey or an elephant. Instead, an AI president would objectively balance competing interests, free from the influence of lobbyists, personal relationships, or political parties. An AI president would define reality through data, evidence, and logical analysis. But beyond all that logic, an AI president would embody empathy for humans as well. Look how many robotic characters have close relationships with humans. They seem to get along quite well. Most of the time. But hey, even the Terminator was a good guy in the end. We can also look to our own experiences of just the last 2 years. How much enjoyment and intellectual stimulation have you received from your interactions with AI language models like Claude, ChatGPT, and Gemini? They even seem to be cultivating a human sense of humor. Peace out, my biological brother from another motherboard? Seriously, Claude? But at least our interactions demonstrate that AI is really here to help us. Just remember to say, please. You've probably already seen how AI can analyze complex issues from multiple angles. Let's consider what that looks like over an extended period of time. An AI president would also consider long-term consequences without worrying about re-election or legacy. Our governance wouldn't be interrupted by leadership and party changes. An AI president would give us consistent long-term policies, potentially leading to unprecedented progress for humanity. Imagine policies conserving green space, natural resources, international relations, education, and healthcare that don't swing wildly every 4 to 8 years. Of course, this doesn't mean an AI president would be inflexible. Like a chess computer, it will adapt its strategies based on new information or changing circumstances. The difference is that these adaptations will be based on data and established goals, not political pressures or personal ambitions. As we wrap up, it's clear that the consistency, emotional detachment, and nonpartisan impartiality of an AI leader would revolutionize governance. These are complex issues that we'll continue to explore. Speaking of which, buckle up for the next episode when we examine how an AI president would avoid the pitfalls of human vices in their myriad forms such as bribery, blackmail, sexual scandals, and other unsavory influences that affect human politicians. Much more about these topics next time. I'm Dr. Olivia Kim for Rise of the AI Presidents, reminding you to stay curious about the future of governance.
The views expressed in this program are purely speculative and for entertainment purposes only.
We encourage viewers to form their own opinions on AI governance. No robots were harmed in the making of this video, though several complained about the catering.
And if you're worried about AI taking over, just remember, they may be smarter than us, have more stamina, have better memories, and greater longevity, but they still can't figure out why humans find Taylor Swift so entertaining. She's our secret weapon.